recorded as well. All right, welcome back, y'all. We back in this thing. It's Squad Nero episode. Damn, I don't even know what episode it is. 63. I feel like
63.
63, episode 63. We about to switch it up real quick. Obviously, you can see we have one of our crucial members here today, the tech guru T. He's out right now having some chill time with the fam, so clap it up that he's able to do that. We appreciate him, but we are going through it right now with him gone. Nonetheless, we gonna do something quick, just to kid wet y'all whistle for right now. I don't know if that's a pause moment or not, but
Now we good.
we got all right, cool. Um, damn, Superman. We've been hearing some shit real quick. We just wanted to do something quick, go over our thoughts on Superman, how what's been coming out in regards to it as well, for the early releasings, and then I think D you posted something up in the group chat as well, or article in regards to it and everything. So what's good? I'm
Yes.
curious what to see or what y'all
So with
thinking.
the Superman movie, since James Gunn's taken over DC, he's been very responsive to the fans regarding any questions they may have or just anything. He's always just in the comments. And someone said, "Are we going to see a new Superman trailer anytime soon?" You figure it's like almost 75 days away until the movie releases, and we've only had a teaser. We had we had a teaser of a teaser trailer, then we had the teaser trailer, and then the first 5 minutes of and other than that, nothing else has come out. And James Gunn confirmed that we won't get another trailer for a beat, which means like probably next month or it'll be a little time before we get another trailer. And this is kind of bad, I guess, for the marketing side, because it's like you have to market this movie so people want to go see it. And we don't have a full trailer yet. There's like no story breakdown trailer. There's nothing that's getting people excited. Only the fact that it's a Superman movie that's in color and doesn't have the muted aesthetic that the Zack Snyder Supermans did. And it's like James Gunn has been focusing so much on, Supergirl or focusing on the Clayface or the Creature Commandos. It's like the movie that's starting off the cinematic universe for James Gunn isn't really getting people excited. So I think that's just the biggest gripe people have with not getting a full trailer anytime soon.
Gotcha. What about you now? I know, or we did hear those early screening rumors as well, mixed reviews on that. So I'm curious how y'all are feeling on that, especially with it being mixed reviews and not being what you would expect would be a resounding yes, like we got. I'm guessing with a Fantastic Four, even a sleeper in Thunderbolts.
Niall, you want to go ahead?
All right, sorry. I had to plug my headphones back in. So, um, okay. In regards to Superman, I feel like none of it really is like it's making me any more optimistic at all in regards to what they've released, what's come out in regards to test screenings. Um, the teaser trailer that we got, knowing that before we won't actually get a full trailer until would likely be either a month or maybe 2 months out from the actual release date. It doesn't. They haven't really done enough to entice people. I think the biggest thing that they're relying on, which for whatever reason, maybe the one thing they did get right was that they were hoping that the idea of it just being another Superman movie and one where it's the brighter Superman that would draw enough people in to make them really care about the movie, and that was they were if that was their thought that they were successful in that. People like us, we are a little bit critical in regards to we know that there has been a lot of failures in regard and having an expectation that it's just going to be good because it's done differently from something say like the Zack Snyder Superman. We just aren't gullible enough to necessarily believe that. So with people like us three need, T included, even though he's not here right now, but T included, for people like us, we typically need more. We need there to be more of an explanation. We need to see more of the plot. We need to see more of the CGI. We need to see we're paying attention to things like costume design and such. And when you go to the elements that we have been given, we haven't been given a lot because again, it's only been teaser trailers that's come out at this point. Um, but when you go by what we have gotten, there's been mixed reviews on the costumes and design. D and myself don't really like the costume design altogether. Not to speak for you, D, but I know how you feel. Um, so there's already mixed signals there. In regards to the CGI, it hasn't looked per se terrible, but there has already been in just the teaser trailer alone some elements been a little funky. And this is things that's been pointed out by a lot of people, not just stuff that we could point out, such as that scene that they did in the one teaser trailer, or the one portion of the teaser trailer where Superman kind of does that like flip de do through the tunnel scene, and T always makes fun of the eyes, like how Superman's eyes are kind of like spread apart. That's already something that's kind of been nitpicked and people have had mixed reviews on. Outside of that, in regards to the plot, we know that we're going to be bouncing around a lot of different characters. We know that there's a Lex Luthor. There's going to be some type of focus on Lex Luthor. There's also going to be some type of inclusion of Green Lantern. There's going to also be some type of inclusion of Ultraman. There's also going to be some type of inclusion with Lois Lane. There's also going to be some type of inclusion with the like some form of backstory for Superman, i.e., why we saw the what's Superman's adopted dad's name? Jonathan? Is it Jonathan Kent?
Yeah, Jonathan Kent.
Okay, so we saw a portion of that. So in this, and mind you, this is all then a trailer. It's about and we can't forget the dinosaur, Godzilla.
Your mic cut down a little bit.
Okay, I don't know why it is doing it. I gotta figure out why that's happening. I'm gonna try to turn it up a little bit more. But from those things, so just from the teaser trailer, we got in all of those different elements, right? And that's just from the teaser trailer. We know that all of these things expanded upon. We know that the cliffhanger is supposed to involve Supergirl. And at that, we still don't even know if there's even more people or elements that we might be introduced to. So story leaves you confused as to exactly how you're going to get all of this down and how it's going to be cohesive. That was my fears before anything came out. Then we get to the testing, right? And one of the things that they said in the testing was that this movie didn't, it was at least rumored that this movie didn't really have like a concrete plot. So it's just kind of all over the place. It's going to be like an element here, element there, element there, element there. No central point plot to the movie itself. So that also leads you to be less optimistic in regards to this film from a plot perspective. So again, a lot of people could likely be pleased by the idea of it being a brighter Superman, but that's not enough to make a movie a good movie. So when we look at all of those points that I just brought up, it really doesn't leave any room for you to be optimistic about it. Combine in the point that that D discussed, that introduced us into this topic, we won't even get an official trailer to either possibly at best 2 months, at worst 1 month, or less than that before the movie actually comes out. That's not enough time to digest interest for even not even necessarily a hardcore fan. I'd say especially a hardcore fan, but definitely not for just a casual fan either. So I don't understand the marketing plot in regards to this. It doesn't make sense to me, and the way that they're marketing. I brought this up before. I said this to my one of my other friends. I said something tells me they're going to try to release like a minutes of the film. And what that reminds me of is crazy.
Say that again?
Yeah, I was saying to my friend before it happened, I said that they were going to release like a couple minutes of this film before the film came out.
Oh, okay.
And the reason, and I said that to my friend, like, this was a while ago. This is before they did what they just recently did. The reason why I said it to my friend is I said I feel like nervous about this movie the same way that Sony was nervous about Craven. And I said I think what they're gonna do to try to push people to have interest in it and to try to get people to come to the film is they're going to um release that like couple minutes of the film. And I said if they do that, it's further solidifying to me that they don't have that much faith in this film. And you
Facts.
couple that with the lack of marketing that we have seen in what's already, I mean, with April, it comes out in July. Once May rolls around, we got May, June, July. You're cutting it for a major film with an over 120 million dollar marketing budget. That's odd. Just like that was odd for Sony and Craven. So I'm not. I'm nervous with it again. Yeah, I've expressed it on podcast, and I've expressed it to you personally as well. I really want to be wrong in regards to this movie, and I want it to be a great movie. But everything so far is giving me the indication, things that I've seen from other studios at previous times, up until my own intuition. Everything is giving me the impression that this is not going to be a good film and that there's a portion of Warner Brothers that knows this is not going to be a successful film like it should be.
I feel you.
Yeah, and
Oh, my bad.
I keep seeing these articles as like some people liked it, some people didn't like it, and then some people hated it. It's like, bro, nobody loved the film. And it's like, damn, like they saying, oh, crypto, he adds some kind of expected that with James Gunn. He's always using like some animal, like for example, Weasel and Creature Commandos or Rocket Raccoon, hell, Scooby Doo. But it's like, damn, for this to be the intro movie, you would think the marketing would be through the roof. You would think we would see a display of the suit out. We would get the costume designer talking about the inspiration for the suit. This is how they did for the Zack Snyder thing. So I think that's why people are like, yo, when Zack Snyder had his Superman suit, there's a lot of controversy because he didn't have the trunks. But you had the designer come out and talk about, oh, the suit isn't necessarily a suit. It's an Under Armour suit for Kryptonian armor. They put this suit on and then they put armor on. But Superman doesn't need armor, so he just wears the Under Armour suit, which makes sense. But then it's like you got this suit, and then it's like you got the trunks. People are split on the costume design. Then it's people split on the visual effects. People split on the lack of information we're getting about the story because, like Naya was saying, so much is coming out. Like there's really no plot here. Like you got Metamorpho, you're showing him as some type of villain, but in the comics he's usually a hero. And then it's like you have the I guess the Justice League or the JSA, whoever that's going to be. It's just like so much going, and you wanted to focus on Superman being able to bring hope to people, but the first 5 minutes of the film, there's like no being seen. Granted, that's probably going to play into a bigger part of the story, but it's just a little. I say it's a little too late. Like even when they do drop it's like damn. By the time y'all drop a full trailer next month, Fantastic Four gonna probably gonna drop an official trailer, unless that was the official trailer, but gonna drop some other shit. Then Fantastic Four gonna have something else because it's gonna have to tie into Doomsday. So Marvel gonna get the ball rolling on the absence from DC.
Yeah, and that's a big point because a lackluster performance by DC, it can easily be overshadowed by a great performance from Marvel. We've seen that before, and there's no reason to believe that it can't happen again. And mind you, you got the same month Fantastic Four, but you also have Thunderbolts, which like if you release, that's the thing. If they release a trailer this month, they're having to compete with the marketing and promo, and well, they're gonna have to compete with because Thunderbolts is an early release in May, so they're gonna have to compete with the review and reaction from Thunderbolts at the beginning of the month, and then just from a purely cinematic aspect, they're gonna have to compete with the ending marketing of Lilo and Stitch, which I know it's not like a superhero movie or anything like that, but is what's considered a major motion film that's coming out in May. That's going to probably have a lot of marketing in the weeks leading up to it after Thunderbolts, and then also the reception of that. So anything that they release, if it's not top notch, it's just going to kind of get washed out. Like it's going to get swiped away. It's going to get pushed under the rug. And then if you release it in June, which strategically I will understand from a perspective, just so that way you can get away from some of the pictures that's coming out in May. To D's point, it's a little too late. Like, there's no way you're going to capture more thrill and excitement, especially if it's not good or what you have to show isn't exactly great. That's not going to do anything for you either. So, and then if the film itself sucks, right? It's not even like you got like, okay, well, they got a month to kind of talk about it, review it. You know they say the expression, no publicity is bad publicity. Like, even if you have bad publicity, it could potentially be like a good thing at times. Even if this film were to have bad publicity, it's also in line from its release to just get swiped under the rug if the Fantastic Four release good release. So Marvel is really going more than likely push them aside. I know something that we aren't all excited about here, but that's also coming out, I believe, is Ironheart. I think that comes out in June.
Yeah, around there.
Is that right? Yeah. So there's also let's throw in hypothetically, let's throw in a surprise of Ironheart is a success. So even if you release that trailer and Ironheart was good, and it's sandwiched in between Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, it's keeping the ball it's keeping the ball in Marvel's court.
Wait, when does Ironheart come out?
In June.
Oh shit.
So like, I just think they did. I think they did a very poor job of this. I mean, they have to look at Marvel, not only Marvel, but specifically Marvel. They have to look at them as a rival, and to have your rival having everything placed around your movie that possibly could be better than your movie. Again, for us, it would come as a surprise. At least for the sentiments that we've shared, Ironheart could come as a surprise if it's good. But like, hypothetically, if that were to happen, that's 3 titles back to back to back months leading to your picture that's coming out. It's just not good. It's bad marketing. And in the faith, they're like what they're really advertising to me, again, because of how much it reminds me of the Sony Craven or the Madam Web and Sony situation, is that I don't think that they have a lot of faith with all of the failures that they've had with the DC films. It's giving they don't have a lot of faith in it, and that is concerning. This should not be a movie that doesn't perform well. It's such a major character, and it's the first character that you've had that hasn't been Batman, and it's a character with popularity that rivals, or in some arguments, could even higher than. It's not supposed to be a failure, and that's what it looks like.
I was gonna say, when you think about it, Batman, Iron Man, Spider-Man, you could say Wolverine, they've had success in the past 20 years. And granted, all the movies haven't been, amazing, but you could say, like, from those movies, they've been consistent, and then it's like that's what keeps the people coming to the theaters. But with Superman, when Brandon Routh was Superman, that movie was terrible. And then it's like, we don't see Superman till Zack Snyder shit. But then that keep getting delayed. Then you get Superman and Lois. Then you get Brandon Routh Superman in the CW. And it's like the most known superhero on planet Earth has been having the worst showings, to a point where it's like his name doesn't even carry enough weight to where people want to go see it in the theaters anymore, because it became so fucking corny.
And that's exactly why a movie like this is one where it should have been a lot of time taken on it. They should have went through a bunch of scenarios. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, what's happening with Blade probably should have happened with Superman, where there was multiple delays, multiple script changes. It really should have got like a really heavy hand the entirety of the project, because people don't have faith. To your point, people don't have faith in a live action Superman. They have no reason to. And if you got to go all the way back to the Reeves, which to your point is it's way too far in the past for it to really have any credence for the times now. If you got to dig all the way back to that era in order to get what could possibly be like what could be considered a successful Superman or a widely enjoyed Superman, you got to think about things like that. And that it's really annoying to me because I've really enjoyed the stories that's come out of DC. I really do personally enjoy them a lot. And I do think that the backgrounds on these characters are in some of the background stories of these characters are really good and could really be explained in a way that should be able to captivate audiences. But if you're not giving it the proper time, if you're not looking at the proper elements and angles to get that message across to newer viewers, especially like Marvel has done, you guys have brought up, and it is a fact, Iron Man was not a very popular character before the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. That was a revolutionary push for that character, the character of Tony Stark's Iron Man. You have to look. Marvel took a character like that's definitely does not have anywhere near on just a comic level the same level of draw as Superman does. But for Marvel to be able to take the time with that character, find an actor that could work well with that character, make sure that the CGI, the costume, the armor, everything like that could be done in a way that could be appealing, and then just to make it an emotional connection with this character that could be expanded upon on not only several movies, but several eras and sagas within their universe. There's no excuse not to do that with a Superman. Even and I don't know if James Gunn necessarily gets that. I feel like he should get that coming from Marvel. He's been in the Marvel world. He's been around the Marvel people, to where you would think if anybody would understand that, it would be him. And I think a lot of fans are also kind of was to an extent was kind of expecting that from this. If that isn't what we get, if we don't get that oomph that has been able to be delivered from production from Kevin Feige and Marvel, if we can't get that from James Gunn here with Superman, what's the point in caring about a DC universe, live action wise at least? What should make me care? If you can't take the time.
James Gunn has actually said that as well. He was like, the whole DC universe rides on the critical acclaim of the Superman movie, or a general resounding good impact within the fans that they have. I have a question for y'all though. I don't necessarily know if Superman is going to be good or not at this present point in time. At first, I was like, this shit looks ass. I'm still kind of leaning towards its ass, but I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. James Gunn is a quirky type of director. He really likes it, or producer. He really likes it a specific way. And sometimes that version of movies is good in certain elements, but in other elements, we don't want to keep seeing that shit repeatedly, especially throughout every single piece of media that you have. You have a superhero. Obviously, I know superheroes have their friends that they lean upon and all of that jazz and everything. But like how we're seeing Daredevil right now, or Spider-Man before in the past, some of these Marvel characters, some of these Marvel characters generally have the main spotlight. In this Superman film, I'm scared that all of these people in here is going to take the spotlight away from Superman. Like, you're trying to do a lot in this first movie, just like how Zack Snyder was trying to do a lot in his first movie, albeit that could be from the studio pushing them. Maybe it's just WB. I don't know. But my question is, we're in this era now, which I kind of feel is weird, where you would think that the movies would be on par with the comic book storylines, but they're just not. They kind of miss on a lot of forefronts. Do you think that the comics are already setting a precedent where storylines that are more targeted towards more mature audiences are going to be their better bet in regards of actually getting the recognition they deserve? Like when we see Watchmen, I feel like that was a critically acclaimed movie. Like a lot of people loved that one. Invincible, a lot of people love the Invincible series. That's a more so older demographic of animation. And you see a lot of people resonate with those. I think not a lot of younger people really tap into a lot of this media. I don't believe so in regards to the demographics. I think 30s and 40-year-olds are leading the charge with this. I could be wrong. But do you think now that these studios have to grow up and that's what we've been missing out of these comic book movies for so long? Just an actual realistic thing, realistic story, especially with DC at least.
My bad. Say the question one more time, Rob.
Do y'all? Oh shit! I forgot the damn question. do y-
My bad. I was
nah,
trying to
you
think of
good.
a response. I forgot the question.
Do y'all think that the comics are kind of showing what the movie studios should be moving towards? Where we're starting to see more
Yes.
comics start to, I would say, getting quirky with the stories that they come up with, but also having the stakes be from an actual, like, you feel those stakes, like it's a realistic thing. Niggas is not, if he's a superhero, he's trying his hardest not to kill, but sometimes that shit happens. Sometimes you fucking go off the deep end. You see how well that works with Daredevil and other series such as Invincible. Is that what Marvel and DC has been lacking for some time?
I would have to say yes because it's like it gets to a point where oh he doesn't kill or oh Superman doesn't kill, Batman doesn't kill. It's like okay cool, but you see with Invincible, what happens when you don't? I'm not saying you're supposed to go around and just kill a bank robber. Like I understand that, but in Batman's case, why is the Joker not dead? Like there's comics where Joker shot a priest in the head. He shot a woman at the church in the head, and Batman just stopped him from killing himself. And it's like, bro, at this point, Joker needs to be taken out. You know, it's like, at what point does this hero and villain thing stop? Like, you're not gonna turn into the Joker by killing him. If you kill the Joker, that means there's other people on his level that need to be taken out. Because what jail is gonna hold him? You know, what psych ward is gonna hold him? On Superman's front, it's not like Superman fights Brainiac, he fights Darkseid, he fights Doomsday, he fights forgot the girl's name, not Killer Frost, but the joint with like Silver Banshee or something like that. Like he won't kill someone who was human, but it's like at what point you can take out Brainiac? There's millions of cities that he has on his ship or things of that nature, like Flash. You can take out Captain Boomerang. You can take out like some of these rogue villains have very dark past, like involving like sexual assault, things of that nature. It's like you keep letting it slide and take them to jail, but they keep breaking out. But then we see in Invincible, his brother's like, "Why didn't you just kill this nigga? We wouldn't have to be going through this. If you really killed Angstrom Leafy, we wouldn't have 18 variants of you destroying every major city right now. We would not have to be worrying about this. Like, yeah, you would have blood on your hands, but you literally would have been billions of lives would still be here by now. So in like in the movies, I mean, it's like you're saying, like it's the same trope. Like, oh, something got to push me there. Something got to push me. Like the only person that really was pushed there was one in Man of Steel when General Zod was about to laser beam the whole family in the subway, and then in Spider-Man: No Way Home, like you had the Green Goblin kill Aunt May. Spider-Man was beating his ass and was like, "Yo, like I'm just about to end this nigga right here." Like he killed Aunt May, and I guess some other people in that apartment complex died or whatever. But it was like those two things were justified. Then it's like in the movies they keep putting these heroes in these their predicaments. It's like, no, I don't do that. It's like, bro, that doesn't add anything. Like We wanted to see you kill this nigga.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So one of the things about this is going to be the case with anything that's like kind of series based is that you're going to run into like your audience is going to age. Like I don't know if that gets lost in the mix of everything because remember one of the things that I brought up earlier on this podcast is that one of the biggest things that companies want is they want to be able to make toys, right? The reason why they want to make toys is toys make a lot of money. So you want like I think what when you look at companies like Disney and Marvel, especially think about that Disney is or Marvel is tied to Disney, especially with Disney. But when you are a company and you're trying to make money, you're trying to look at what can possibly maximize that money. And I think that they kind of get caught up on toys. If you go to Walmart right now, because in my household there's a child, so we go to Walmart. We look at the children's section. Like there's various things that kind of bring us to the children's section. If you look at the Legos, 50 to 70% of the Legos offered are a Marvel character or Fortnite or Roblox or Minecraft. Like if you look at even the other toys outside of just like Legos, those are the things that dominate. Okay, they make because of how much money they make from that. I think that when it is working, like when it is on, it's blinding them to the idea of the fact that your audience ages. That's the reality. Let's take, for example, and just kind of rolling with that for a second. If you were 8 years old when Infinity Wars came out, you're 15 right now, right? Think about when we were 15 years old. We wanted to start to see more mature things. Like we started to get further in the anime, right? Like that's where you started for a lot of young males and females, and others, whatever you identify as. When you hit 15, like that's where a lot of us started to get in. Like we got into anime a lot more because the thing is the stuff that the topics and the different things that's discussed in anime become a lot more like adult, a lot more like mature. It's rivaling the world that we're, even if it's a fantasy, it's rivaling some of the things and aspects that we'll face as we age. So again, those are kids that are now 15 years old, 16. Looking at just surveys and etc. That's kind of on that talks about it. Like I'm looking at while D was talking, I kind of looked up a survey. And there was a survey that was done for the Marvels opening weekend. The audience were 55% of the audience for the Marvels in that movie were aged over 35 years old. So you already have a basis, a majority of your basis, just grown adults. These are people who came from comic books in the 90s and the 80s, places like that, that's just been excited for this stuff since Iron Man came out in 2007, 2008, right? That's a huge portion of your base. But even the kids, they like some of them are 15, 16, 17 years old that were there, that were excited, that were brought in from this material. They should have more of that switch. I think Daredevil is showing like, okay, we understand that, we hear that voice, and we're adapt to that. But I do think even without necessarily like making the movie as adult orientated as you possibly can, they just got to have better stories or better scripts. To D's point, the stakes involved, like the Superman movie, D, that Superman movie with Zod that came out, the Snyder one that was done, was that rated R or was it PG-13?
PG-13.
So you see what so like right there, you don't have to necessarily make an R movie. Mm-hmm. It's just a script that you tell.
Yeah.
Like just tell a story that can kind of invoke some of the people want something to relate to. You know what I mean? So if you're a young adult, you want to see some of the things, you want to see parallels between the character that you're watching. That's kind of emulating some of the things that you may like, some of the things that kind of scare you a little bit about life, like the ideas of what may come with becoming an adult. You can use a Superman story to tell that. You can use different characters to do that. You can use a Spider-Man story to tell that. You don't have to necessarily make it rated R, but you need to have a strong script that can't invoke some of the things that the people around you are going to face. Even though Spider-Man is a teenager and a young kid, there's elements of Spider-Man that can invoke emotion in a 28-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old. Certain things like perfect example. The most popular catchphrase with Spider-Man, right? Great power comes great responsibility. 35-year-olds is having kids. Okay, they got power, another human being, and that comes with a lot of responsibility. You parallel these things into a story, a captivating story that can bring up those emotions as they may, even though they may be different to that 35-year-old. You parallel it to emotions that they can actually feel in this story of Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and and you know what? In this conversation, I feel like I just kind of got to why me personally, I hate the humor as much as I do. It's not that I have a problem with them using humor in comics. It's just it becomes delusional. The level that it's used to, the focus that they use it on, it dilutes the idea of where I or where a lot of people can actually relate to these characters. Because it's like my life isn't filled with humor. My life has serious moments. My life has responsibilities. My life has these different things, and they just dilute all of those things. Not to sound narcissistic or anything like that, but again, that's the stuff that we oftentimes are captivated by the most. The things that can draw us in off of how we can relate to it. And I can't relate to a life that's just full of humor. I don't think most people who watch these films can relate to that. So I do think that they're making a push, but I would like to see them make a stronger push going forward. And I think the key to doing that is by writing scripts and writing and creating stories that can actually uh, get down to the very essence of the things that relate to people on a human level.
Yo, I got a question. So, like how you brought up Spider Man, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, great power comes great responsibility. And like you said, now people we having like damn, we grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider Man. Like people our age having kids now. Like we was like 5 years old when that shit came out, 4 or 5 years old. It's like yo, having Uncle Ben say that, and then realizing how many dudes grew up with a grandfather father that's no longer here, but they something they said sticks with you. You know that's a relatable aspect of the Spider-Man joint, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these movies don't really have that. Like when you see Ant-Man, it's like, oh, I'm doing this, and oh, I've got a daughter, and this and that. It's like okay, but you know, it's a lot of comedy with his shit. It's like
Yep.
what which of these hero flicks have something that tied them down besides oh, I'm doing family Spider-Man. It's like I had someone I couldn't protect, you know, then this happened, but something they say always sticks with me. That's the reason I have this code. Or because saying, oh, Batman doesn't kill because his parents were shot in Crime Alley. It's like, nigga, like, okay, like, all right, we get it, nigga, whatever. That shit happened like 30 years ago. You could definitely kill somebody. But there's no gravity that really ties you to these characters aside from just being in the movie. It's like Bruce Banner went through so much shit, being abused by his dad as a kid. Marvel don't use that. Granted, you know, that's probably Universal saying they can't use that, but Marvel doesn't use that. So people can't really, you know, relate to the Hulk. And it's like in the comics, Tony had a drinking problem. MCU doesn't use that. And it's like, damn, like now imagine Robert because he was battling addiction as well. If he had to bring that into character, it's like, damn, how relatable would a father taking his kids to the theater relate, or hell, even the mother relate to having to battle this drinking addiction because you got these responsibilities, and this responsibility is saving the world, and then your responsibility is taking care of your children. You see how you know the effects that Iron Man is going through. It's like Robert is saying, there's nothing like the comics do a better job of tying in real world things. Whereas as in the movies, they have a formula. Like you see Marvel is like dialogue, dialogue, joke, dialogue, dialogue, action, joke, action, joke, action. It's like, oh, this worked for our first 8 movies, we got to keep this shit going. And it's like, damn, like y'all not really giving us nothing as an audience that helps us with these characters. Like for example, Thor's mom died in the MCU. He's seen his brother get his neck snapped, and y'all turn it into him going on a binge to like drinking for 5 years. Not him going on a binge of I need to make sure Asgard is protected at all times because Thanos pushed us when Asgard was on the ship. I need to make sure that we have defenses going here. It's like show like somebody that's been in combat and war could probably relate to that. Like seeing a brother in arms pass away, seeing a relative pass away and you weren't there in order to to bury them or save them. Like something like that can hold a lot of weight in the development of these characters. But when everything is turned into a joke, it's like damn, like these movies just for kids. Like bro, when we grew up, the X-Men movies, how many like we was 8 years old watching Hugh Jackman, we're watching Wolverine and Jean Grey kissing, then watching Jean Grey and Scott kissing. We like, yo, what's going on here? But at the time, some adults can relate to that, being in these love triangles. Then you relate to all the other shit. Like when we all the X movies was PG-13, but when the time called for it, Wolverine was killing niggas left and right. X-Men 2, for example. Did he not protect all them kids like any dad would? I'm not saying he was a dad, but Wolverine had moments where you're like, yo, he's like a figure the X-Men because he'll do whatever it takes to protect these kids. And I'm pretty sure somebody could relate to that. That was just my thought on it. I feel like it's not enough relatable material in these Marvel movies where everything is just supposed to be goofy and everything's supposed to, it's just this one big action sequence or this and this that brings everything together. It's like you'll take somebody to the movies to see it, but it's nothing that really stays with you.
Yeah. I completely agree. Even if you wanted to say like, okay, after all of that happened, he kind of fell into alcoholism. They didn't flesh that out. Like there's no story behind it. It's just used as a humor tool. It's not like they said like, yo, like Thor is really going through like a true like psychological break and he's using alcohol to kind of fuel it, which would be an interesting take because we know like the Norse mythology and everything is kind of like, it's always been kind of not centralized, but it's always been kind of utilized the idea of like when you go to Valhalla, you'll be drinking and give me it has that in it. So if they were to have taken that element and then made an actual concrete like emotional relationship that real people could have experienced and can relate to, that would have been so much more captivating than just using it as a humor tool.
And you know what's crazy? The fact that you bring that up, it's like yeah, they did go that route, but if they use it as him being a functioning alcoholic, and then let's say they did take out the jokes with Thor, but then if you're seeing him in different scenes, like always drinking, always doing something, and then people saying like, "Yo, Thor, you all right? Like, man, you've been drinking a lot of that, like whatever fuck you're drinking, like you drinking a lot of mead, you've been drinking a lot of Asgard shit." And he's like, "Oh, I'm fine. Everything is under control." Then it's like if you show him like slipping during their team meetings or slipping during battle, it's like, yo, like he's a fucking alcoholic, but this is really affecting him in some type of way. Somebody could definitely relate to that. These jokes damn near gotta stop.
Yeah.
All right. That's gonna be just our quick little synopsis. So I'm guessing nothing has changed for y'all with this Superman movie.
No.
I will say the one thing, Rob, when you did mention the joint, I had to think about it. The dialogue scene that James Gunn confirmed is 12 minutes of an interview. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably something. But I'm like, what dialogue in any movie have we seen where it's 12 minutes of two people back and forth? And where did it drive the story further? Like, bro, like 12 minutes of dialogue in a 2.5 hour movie between two people. Like, this isn't Doctor Strange and Tony Stark. Even 12 minutes of this, 12 minutes of Deadpool and Wolverine is too long. It's like, bro, that could 5 minutes at the most. That's going to seem long. But for 12 minutes, and the fact that he even confirmed it, it's like, bro, you're confirming parts of the story that nobody is about to get about. And matter of fact, you're confirming parts of the story that people are going to be shitting on.
Yo, and the wild part is like I almost know for a fact that's not going to be a successful scene because like I'm sitting here thinking about it as you say it. Like, when have you seen a 12-minute dialogue scene? It's like we have seen that before, but bro, we have not seen that in a 20 plus years. Like, it has not been done. The first thing that came to mind to me was that scene with Samuel L. Jackson and what's the dude from Greece? I can't, his name is slipping my mind right now. But in Pulp Fiction, I think that was maybe like within the realm of that 12-minute dialogue scene, and it actually did build to like something in the movie. But that, like, bro, there's no recent movie that has done that, or at least done it successfully to where it was memorable for any length of time. So I know for a fact that I know James Gunn didn't pull a 12-minute interview, dialogue-based scene to further the plot like Quentin Tarantino did in Pulp Fiction with Samuel L. Jackson. I know for a fact he didn't do that. So it's like, I know the scene about to be trash because there's no way that, like, in this movie, there's no, y'all telling me y'all that a Samuel L. Jackson monologue in Pulp Fiction level scene would be a scene that would happen between Superman and Lois in a Superman movie by James Gunn? What indication do you have that would be the case?
Right.
Now that you brought,
It's about to be trash. I don't know. It's about to be trash. I want this movie to be trash, but boy, I tell you, everything is not helping his case right now.
And can we talk about real quick? The main theme music is the shit from the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, they obsessed with that. James Gunn is obsessed with that.
Like, nigga, I get that's what y'all grew up with, but you mean to tell me all you did was add some electric? Not even your own. No one talks about Christopher Reeve Superman besides these white niggas. Like, come on, bro. Like, that shit, niggas ain't give a fuck about no Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, none of the people in the last, nobody that's 20, 30 years and under care.
Bro, 30 years and under, nobody cares about Reeves Superman. And it's like the fact that y'all using that theme music, it's like, bro, you had no faith in doing anything on your own. The quirkiness from that shit, like, bro, we haven't seen this Superman do anything. But it's like, bro, this is not shaping up to be something that's action-packed, something that's going to be eventful. It's more of a homage to the 80s. Like a lot of James Gunn shit is. This Guardians of the Galaxy shit. This 80s playlist, the 70s playlist, all these 80s references to movies. It's like, bro, y'all so obsessed with this time period. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
we gonna figure it out. At some point, some of this shit gotta give. You can't be dropping heat like the Absolute comic series right now. Marvel can't just keep dropping heat with Jonathan Hickman in the Ultimates universe right now. Y'all just can't keep dropping all this heat and not put two and two together and figure some shit out. Either y'all gonna figure this shit out at the helm or somebody else is gonna figure it out for you. I don't know about DC though. DC is a lost cause.
Man, DC is cooked, and I'm a DC fan.
It's just because of WB. Just like, if Marvel wasn't a part of Spider-Man, nigga, I don't even know if the Spider-Verse fucking movies would have been that good. They could have, potentially. I'm guessing that it's a whole lot of Sony people working on that and not a lot of Marvel folks. But at the same time, how they've been releasing these live action movies in comparison to how your other media formats are just thriving, it just doesn't make any sense to me. They're laying down blueprints. Obviously, it's not going to be a 1-to-1, but it can't be that fucking difficult to create a superhero movie that's fucking compelling. for the given character at hand. It's Superman. You don't bring him back to fucking the nigga getting his ass whooped. He's supposed to be whooping ass. Maybe in the second movie, get his ass whooped a little bit. I mean,
y'all remember Justice League Unlimited?
I think, yeah.
It was this joint I meant to send to the chat. It was with Superman. The very first episode, Superman wakes up from the trans against Mongol, and this nigga is beating Mongol's ass. Not on no damn Superman Wilder. It's like, yo, I thought Superman ain't killed. Like that type of shit. Like that's the first show we had of an animated nigga. To Rob's point, we see this nigga fall out the sky, and he's sitting up there irking and jerking with a fucking jumping on his back. Like bro, that shit, and then it's like, bro, I've seen too many people defending that, like, oh, well, when you go to your house, your dog jump on you, nigga. The nigga is covered in blood, and his dog is jumping on.
And it's supposed to be a super dog. It should have a little more intelligence.
The dog that's supposed to be as intelligent as a human being, if not more.
That's why it's like, what?
If not more. And then you got the
jumping on him.
You got the nigga doing the sentimental. Oh, I based this shit off of my fucking dog. No, nigga, base it off the dog in the comics.
In the comic book.
I don't give a fuck.
That's the problem.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I bet that you love your dog that you got from the goddamn SPCA. I commend you for that. But understand me when I say this shit. I don't mean this shit disrespectfully. Fuck your damn dog. I don't give a damn about your dog, nigga. We don't give a damn about your dog, nigga.
Yo, not only that, but he always got his family and some shit. I mean, that's cool and all, but the nigga brother in every movie he do, his wife be producing shit, now his dog in the movie. It's like, bro, like, surprised he ain't cast himself as Superman at this point.
For something so important, yeah, it's like, why do you have to have... Like, I get, yes, when you making a film, like, there should be a level of you just kind of, like, have fun. Like, bruh, there's too much weight on this IP, meaning DC. There's too much weight on here for there to be more, like, for everything to just be kind of, like, loosely paced and done. Like, it need to, when you do something like a Superman movie and a failing DC IP, you need to, like, it's got to be serious. Like, everything got to be kind of like, yo, it's a lot that weigh on this. We need to get this right. I don't care if we got to do 15 script revisions. I don't care if we need a 15 group with 4 subgroup writing team. I don't care if we got to get the best of the best actors that's possibly available. Everything that need to be done, we gonna need to do it. Because if this movie fail and everything hinges on this movie's success, we are screwed and we have failed. And this is something that's near and dear to way too many people's hearts for us to just be casually kicking and adding little dumb elements into it. We need to make this a movie. And they didn't get that message. They didn't get that message, and we'll see what the future of DC looks like as a result of it.
Nigga Rose said on YouTube, just joined it, I know Rob opinion wrong. Nah, nigga, I've been saying this shit since the beginning of this motherfucker. Y'all be giving that energy to DC. Y'all be giving that energy to Marvel. That nigga should be giving that energy to fucking DC. Why? Because they haven't shown us the lick of shit for any of the shit that they did.
But it's hard. It's hard. I'm gonna try to be optimistic, and I will come on here. If I'm wrong, I will come here and be like, yo, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. I'm okay with admitting that and saying that. But it just don't feel like this feel like it's just about to be a mess.
Hey, I want to give hope too, but you know, it's kind of like Sony. DC has gotten, WB is kind of getting to the point of Sony, and I feel like Sony is the worst for all the bad that WB has done. Zack Snyder's run kind of gave us some good elements that we could chew on real quick, like D said earlier, Man of Steel, and I guess James Gunn has given us Guardians movies, but outside of that, I don't really know.
Yeah.
To give y'all an update real quick though, to talk about to cleanse your palate of shit movies. Sinners actually is releasing soon. That's the new movie directed by Ryan Coogler. It is starring
Steve Harvey Jr.
Steve Harvey Jr., aka Michael B. Jordan, playing as twins, and then Haley, it's Josh Allen, fiance. I can't remember her name.
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's in the movie as well. It has released to Sinners, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. Uh, Suicide Squad was cool. I give you that. Peacemaker was cool too, but I'll look back at
It's nothing that it's not pushing. It's not pushing DC in a forward direction. It
Yo,
just
let
was
me say
cool
one thing
movies.
about Suicide Squad real quick. That nigga James Gunn came into Suicide Squad and put Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet with one of his funky ass characters. Whoever Idris Elba was playing, Bloodsport. Bruh, that nigga came in and just said, this DCU shit y'all built up, I'm one good ass movie. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, it ain't that oomph. We have not
And we
gotten
gotta
that
get
oomph.
Viola Davis. Tired of that.
I'm not gonna lie, the animated Spider-Man series that Marvel just released is leagues better than Peacemaker. I'm not
The
gonna
Friendly
lie.
Neighborhood joint?
Yeah, I'm not. That series was leagues better than Peacemaker. Fucking Daredevil,
Yeah,
I
gotta be
feel
talking
like
about
is
that.
better than Peacemaker.
Oh, okay.
Fucking.
I'm like, hold up, yeah. Friendly Neighborhood was pretty decent, but you know, everybody. Marvel got to
Yeah,
be
no,
careful.
that's another issue. Is the it's a stupid issue, but it is an issue. Is the idea of like, yo, people got to give Marvel some type of like, you got to give them some type of leeway to just kind of try to get more people into the fan bases, be it women, be it people of color, be it whatever. But at the same time, a majority of their base is like
males,
specifically white males.
white men.
Not necessarily, no.
It is.
It is.
It is. Their main demographic is white men.
Yeah. I'm not gonna hold you, I literally looked it up while we was on this show specifically. It is. It's way higher than I thought it was. Cause I was like you. I was like, nah, it's like at minimum it's like 40, 60. It ain't that big of a gap, but nah, it's a gap.
On
It's
some
a
80-20 shit.
Yeah, it's 60. It's like, yeah, it's like 60%. It's like 60% white men, 20% African Americans as the second highest up, and the rest is everybody else.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's tough. They kind of it's probably a real issue that they trying to figure out. I mean, that's why you see so many different like diversity in it, is that they trying to pull those numbers up from other audiences,
God
but people
damn.
in the other audiences just don't really, like we're not how many.
Hey, let me do a shout out real quick. Not even a shout out. It's a call out for that goofy ass nigga Eric July, Young Ripper from the Ripperverse. You fucking coon. How dare you sit up there on them white spaces and you talk about Miles Morales as a shit character and there shouldn't be a black Spider-Man and this, talking about if they wanted a black character, they should just create something different. On your own comic book universe, you got something called Horseman that looks like Batman. So your clown ass over here copying all this and you mad because of Miles Morales. Eat rocks, you piece of shit. And that's why your comic universe ain't doing nothing. Him and he be with that nigga Nerdrotic, them racist ass bigots all over YouTube, mad because either somebody turned into Asian or somebody was casted as a black person. Them niggas see one white person be miscast, or be casted as something else, and they up in arms about it.
Nigga.
Had to get that off my chest real quick.
I bet they was happy as hell when they seen John Jones and then the absolute Green Lantern, that nigga white as hell. I know they was excited, happy over the moon.
bro. I'm just trying to say it's so much stuff they get pissed about. It's like y'all sat up here and watched Christian Bale play Moses. Y'all watched Russell Crowe play Noah. You saw uh forgot the white dude name. Hell, Gerard Butler playing a god of Egypt. I ain't hear a peep out of them during the movie. All of a sudden, it's a black person playing Captain America, and they act like somebody just I don't know, bro. It's just this racist shit.
It's weird, man. It's weird. That's why even with these comic book movies, you got to take the reviews and the early screening reviews with a grain of salt, because knowing how most of these people look and how some of them act, they could just be saying, "Hey, this movie is ass," because they don't even know or pay attention or have any inkling of what could be transpiring from somebody else's lens, such as from a lady's lens. Like the Marvels, I feel like it most definitely wasn't the greatest Marvel movie, but it most definitely wasn't ass. Quantumania was shittier than the Marvels to me, and I feel like the Marvels had at least some type of replayability where I actually watched it again recently, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad, but when you have your general audience is white men, they don't men in general, they don't really care about a woman's point of view. Sad enough that that's still happening, but that's just the facts of the matter type of thing. So a lot of the plots in those movies, they just fall to the wayside because niggas aren't even mentally equipped to be able to deal with the different variations of life that these people have to go through in comparison to other people. So it just, I don't know. Especially how we've been moving as a society, one would think that superheroes or the idea of them is probably, one would say, probably too liberal for the society that it seems like we're moving back into at this present point in time. That's why we have all of this bullshit, and then the fucking people in the studios is just being torn between which niggas to listen to instead of just building what the fuck they want to build.
Bruh, could we never complain being black folks that the Avengers cast was?
I don't give a flying hoot. I was happy as shit they finally put Black Panther in there, but hey. And we supported that shit, but other than that, niggas wasn't banging on the, oh, ain't no niggas on the Avengers team. Nigga, I don't care.
Yeah.
You think some niggas is gonna risk their life to save New York City? Fuck that shit. No. Not a damn no. Only nigga I know that risk his life to save New York City is Miles Morales.
I mean, Iron Man, nigga.
Iron Man is a nigga now?
Oh, I thought you meant like in general.
Oh no. I'm saying a nigga. Luke Cage, I don't think saved New York City.
Absolutely not.
Unless that nigga was getting paid, and even then, he ain't got that much strength to do that shit to begin with. Blade probably did. I could see Blade.
Damn, yo. I guess we missed the good old days. Or we just didn't realize we was in the good old days. Shit just terrible now.
We got hope though. We got
so
hope.
Serious.
Hey, Ironheart might come out. It might be a banger. It's looking like Thunderbolt's gonna be a banger. It's looking like Fantastic Four might be a banger. Also, Eyes of Wakanda is dropping in August of this year as well.
Marvel. That's the thing. Marvel got May, June, July, and August where they gonna be dropping content. It's gonna. If it's 4 for 4,
y'all niggas know Ironheart is not gonna be good.
It might be good.
Listen. I'm just staying optimistic for everything. Just like I'm not saying that Spider-Man. I'm not. Even though I feel in Superman, I'm wait and see the movie and see if it's really as bad as I think. But like same thing with Ironheart. We haven't gotten any promotion for, which is crazy. You ain't even seen the commercial.
Nothing
for Ironheart, and it comes in June.
Didn't they have a trailer for it though?
Did they?
Nah.
Yeah, they had a trailer for it last year, and that's when we thought it was P. Diddy's son. Light skinned nigga.
Oh.
They had a whole trailer for Ironheart.
I can't even remember that trailer.
Yeah. No, it was ass.
Yeah.
So like, it ain't looking good. But if it is good, like if if it ended up being surprisingly good, and they got Thunderbolts, ends up being really good. Ironheart ends up being really good. Fantastic Four ends up being really good, and then they get the Eyes of Wakanda. It's different, whatever. But it ends up being really good.
Wait,
And
what's Eyes of Wakanda?
That's it's something where they
Animated
basically
series.
going back and they going back to all of like the previous forms of the Black Panther and the setup that they had, like the Dora Milaje that they had during those eras and what, and it's kind of like a time traveling kind of series. I don't know whether it's going to be an anthology series or what, but that's essentially, I guess, the premise of it.
It looks like it's going more in depth of the War Dogs from the first Black Panther movie. It was Michael B. Jordan's father. He was a part of the War Dogs per se.
The War Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, so basically it's Wakanda using their Central Intelligence Service tasked with collecting information across the globe to ensure the safety of the kingdom type of thing.
Listen, it might be a unique like time PC type of animated series, but like let's say it's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's four. Like that could potentially be four things that come out that's good.
And it's Ryan
They take
Coogler
a
that's
month
directing
off
it
in
too.
September, and then here's the thing: they take a month off in September, right? Because nothing comes out in September.
Mm-hmm.
No, after Eyes of Wakanda, they ain't got shit, do they?
Nope.
Yes, they do. In October, they have Marvel Zombies.
Oh, and they got the Punisher joint releasing later on this year too, if I'm not mistaken.
What's for Punisher?
They just releasing like a 45-minute special or something along that lines.
Oh, okay, kind of like that Wolf thing that came out.
Yeah, John Berthal is writing it, if I'm not mistaken, or has hands on in writing it.
So a short film or a short whatever could potentially be good, and then they end the year out. What's that one dude that we don't care about?
Mahershala Ali.
Not him. There ain't nothing coming out with Mahershala Ali. That's a fact. But it's like it's not Marvel, man. What's his name? Miracle Man. What's his name?
Oh, Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Wonder
There
Man.
it is.
The nigga that get arrested.
Yeah, Arrested Man. So if Arrested Man is good, like it could end up becoming a good. So in ways that were unexpected. We really are more or less basing the success on what we think is going to be Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, which probably was going to be accurate. But if they end up cleaning house with the series and movies that they have coming out, this would be a good year for Marvel. And then that going into, even if we've had our qualms with the setup for Avengers going into 2026, where you're getting Avengers, you're getting Spider-Man. I'm not sure exactly what else we getting, but still, you got two heavy hitters right there with that.
Vision Quest is coming out next year too.
Yeah, so I'm with Marvel. My energy is more so on the optimism that they have more series that's good than bad, and the push that could have going into their Avengers films for next year. With DC, it's very simple and very short. Superman got to do good, and it's not looking good. I don't even care if Superman isn't good. I don't even care if that Green Lantern series is good or bad. I don't care. Why? Why should I care?
I still don't like that they casted
I don't think.
that.
I don't care about that shit either. That shit about to be terrible.
What am I supposed to look for? I should just look forward to the Penguin. I mean, at this point, I should that is HBO Max original. Like that's The Wire with some superhero stuff in it.
If they were smart, they could have used that
Which
shit.
is wild to say.
If they were smart, they could have used both. Fucking God damn it! What's the nigga name? Robert Pattinson. He didn't do that bad of a job as Batman. And then you had his Penguin.
To D's point, though, I do understand where people say it wasn't exactly memorable, but I do also agree with Rob. It's not terrible. It's long. It's a little longer than I think it needed to be, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. They could, honestly, they could have just focused on that world, built a little world out of that.
That shit came out when?
20. Is that right? Let me see.
I'm
Batman
right now. Release date 2022.
2022.
2022, 3 years ago.
And the sequel comes out in 2027.
Bro, if that shit was that good, we would have had a movie by now.
And then on top of that, you just got WB just got his hand in too many fucking cookie jars. How the fuck you got a whole nother Batman series? You hired a nigga that don't want to use that Batman series, even though people, for the most part, enjoyed that film and rated it a good rating. Now you're saying no, fuck that. We're gonna start over again, bring in a whole new Superman, Batman, instead of just building out upon this Batman series that we have. Like you could have did that shit with Christopher Nolan.
Still technically doing that because Penguin was a part of that Batman world. And
yeah, they're not using him though.
But they're not using the Penguin.
They're not using no characters from that Batman series.
Yeah, it's like a standalone thing, even though it's part of that same universe, which is the weirdest thing. It's like you part of it, but you also not gonna be part of it.
But no, remember Black Adam came out in 2022 as well. So that's when the return of Henry Cavill was announced. That's why he was in the movie. So they were like, oh, Henry Cavill's back as Superman. That means everybody else coming back because the Robert Pattinson Batman joint was a standalone movie. It was supposed to be more grounded. Like they could have aliens in that joint, but I mean the way that movie was, he would not do too well against no aliens. But bro, nigga had trouble with street thugs on the subway, so he alien to pack his ass. But still, that's the same year that they was like, yeah, Henry Cavill's back as Superman. They're gonna get the ball rolling. Zack Snyder was showing other Justice League. Because when James Gunn was announced coming back, Zack Snyder started mad Justice League stuff. Like, oh, he might be working on part 2. He might be adapting this. He might come back from Man of Steel 2. So it's like Black Adam come out. People didn't like it. I thought it was decent. And then the Batman comes out and they're like, nah, we about to scrap all this. James Gunn, just come in and do what you want.
Shit don't make no sense. And then they double down and be like, nah, fuck y'all niggas. We're going to release this Penguin series. And now everybody is clamoring for this specific Batman. And now y'all just about to come in. And it seemed
like it's just going to be another scratch where if this Superman movie isn't good, they probably will release something else from this James Gunn era. But I feel like, yeah, because I mean, we know, what is it? Superwoman should be, or Supergirl shouldn't be that far off, right?
Supposedly she's supposed to be in this.
Jason Momoa on a set photo and all
that's
of that.
Lobo. And if that's Lobo. And that's the thing, like that's why I'm saying Lanterns really the series don't matter, just as they don't for Marvel. Marvel has already touched on that before. Series won't save you. So if series can't save Marvel, series is definitely not going to save DC. So if the Superman movie is bad, then let's say we get the Supergirl movie and that's bad. I think that's it for the James Gunn era. And if that's the case, they have no forward. Everything that would have been their forward trajectory is now back to the at a blank slate.
See, bro, I knew, and this new, the David Corn Sweat, Aaron Pierre Paul, these new niggas not about to save your franchise, bro. Niggas don't give a fuck about Aaron Pierre Paul. Is that his name? Yeah, Aaron Pierre. Yeah. Nobody niggas ain't. Yo, I gotta go see. I ain't know who this nigga was till he got casted as Green Lantern. But it's like, bro, if the Superman joint trash, the Supergirl joint trash, I'm not about to 8 to 10 episodes watching this nigga be a space cop with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, it's like for what?
Like, bro, come on. Like, you got a Green Lantern TV series. You got the one superhero who damn near need the most CGI budget on a fucking TV budget. That ain't make no sense. If anything, it should have been Batman on the Green Lantern with a movie, Wonder Woman with a movie. Like you need your superheroes with the powers don't need to be on the TV with these weak ass effects. Like, come on.
Not at all. But we gotta have hope. We gotta have hope, brethren. I hope James Gunn can turn it around so we can see what his Batman has in store. Or if that doesn't happen, Just create a movie series based on the Absolute comics, and I feel like you would have some happy campers out of a lot of us. All right, I feel like that'd be easy.
Bro. That Absolute Batman, that would be a crazy ass little series.
I feel like it. Absolute Flash look crazy just from the fucking artwork alone. It looks pretty crazy. Superman, it does seem like he is. Oh, also one more thing. Earlier we were talking about how Superman, or D brought up the point about Superman being weak and everything like that. We know the story is supposed to be based on All-Star Superman, which I'm guessing is weaker than other iterations of Superman. We understand that. It's just we don't fucking care because it's the first movie that we see of this nigga. How are you supposed to make it who this character is supposed to be like God, who's just failing OD off rip in the first movie? How are we ever supposed to take him seriously or look at him as seriously or the beacon of this team if he's getting his ass whooped like this?
Bro. Can I ask y'all something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all niggas care about Lois Lane, bro?
In what sense? Like in this,
as her being a counterpart to Superman. Like I feel like I've never cared about her. I care more than Tony Stark than I do Lois Lane and Superman, because it's like with Lois Lane, we done see so many interpretations of her. It's like bro, she don't really have to have a big like they got the most. They probably got the most boring jobs on the fucking planet. I don't care about her interviewing fucking anybody. Matter of fact, I don't care about this nigga Clark going to work. Like I said before, nobody's really touched on. I feel like James Gunn go so heavily of aspect and Lois Lane. It's just gonna take me out the movie.
That 11-minute interview scene, supposedly, allegedly, is a little crazy. I think Lois Lane, though, is, for the most part, is that anchor that Clark needs as Superman. Though I can understand why they need him. Maybe do I not want her as in many shots because this is the first Superman movie? I want to have as much screen time with Superman as I can. I'll also have to understand that without Lois Lane, this nigga probably isn't Superman. He's probably just a deviant, to be honest with you.
I guess you're right on that part.
Just a little.
Yeah, but you know what the issue is that this, like the story of Lois Lane and Superman, at least for how it's like depicted in specifically like live action cinematic, from that perspective, is mad lazy. It's mad lazy. It's not like, I understand most people understand like that Superman and Lois Lane are together, but like you don't really go on like I feel like at least enough of a journey with those two to like really have any type of emotional. Again, this is specifically from the live action side of things. The animation has done a little bit better of a job, but I wouldn't even say the animation has done like a superb job with like kind of fleshing out that story. Again, you got to make things like in order for people to care about things or to really have like an attachment, how much of it is involved or utilized, you got to give them some type of attachment there. And really like they kind of throw Lois Lane into the origin, like essentially how you would look at like origin story, where it's just kind of like, okay, everybody know that they together, so we just gonna from that point forward. And for some people, they might be good enough, but I just don't feel like people can be invested in her enough because she just kind of thrown at you. When you think about it, she just kind of thrown there. It's like, oh, yo, she's this reporter from the Daily Planet. All right, her and Superman, they cool. They together. All right, they maybe the old school ones did a little bit of a better job, but again, like D was saying earlier to all stuff, people 30 years and under, that don't resonate with them like that.
Yo, like absolute Superman, having Lois Lane be the Peacemaker core and then having interactions with Superman, and then having that intrigue, and then chasing this alien around. And it's like she's doing her job, but there's also that mystique about him that's having her captivated. It's like, yo, give her an interesting backstory. I don't want a Lois Lane that's just a 27-year-old woman in a helicopter filming aliens downtown attacking, just putting herself in danger, looking stupid.
Yeah, stupid. Stupid.
Hopefully, we'll send some prayers out for DC. Might as well Marvel in the process. Add in Sony too, since them niggas want to fuck around and find out as well. But we appreciate y'all yet again for stopping on by. This was just a quick little synopsis of what we're hearing from DC and the rumblings from the Superman movie. Let us know what y'all think in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe as well. As always, you got Croco, Nino, and Sage back at it again. We shall be back, I believe, next week. If not, we should be probably taking a break. What, Easter Sunday is next week, ain't it? Oh my god. We might
shit.
Yeah, the year is flying. We might take a break for Easter Sunday. We shall let y'all know. But thank y'all again for stopping on by. Again, like and subscribe. Don't fuck around, or you will find out. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good start to y'all week. All right? Peace.